I met Jack Ma, and he told me, Yaky, it took me 13 years to be able to convince people that my model is for real. And only then it started to boom. So I'm not going to wait 13 years. I mean, I did 2 years from this change in strategy. I believe it's going to come much faster. But now I'm extremely convinced that we are doing something right. And the series of deals that we just did right now shows me that we are in a very right path. And each and every of these activities that we are doing can be a huge company. So I'm quite optimistic and excited of what's going to come next.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Leaders. Today I'm joined by the Pluri CEO, Yaky Yanay, who has spent over 20 years of management experience that's got him to this point, and 18 years of those are at Pluri. Pluri is a biotechnology company and they're pushing the boundaries of science and engineering to produce cell-based products. So this should be a pretty interesting conversation. Yaky, how are you doing?
Very good, Sam. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
Very well. It's great to have you on. How's the week been? Busy?
Busy. Yeah, it's been busy, intensive week, as I like.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, let's for our listeners or watchers that maybe haven't heard of Pluri, give us a little bit of an overview for everyone.
With pleasure. Pluri, it's quite a unique company. We are working with cells, which I always like to call them the building blocks of life. So I'm very blessed to work with a company that working with these tiny organisms, creatures, that they are the one that make everything on this planet. And Pluri and me personally, very dedicated to be able to create products that are built from cells in order to serve human beings. And we are doing it today in many industries. And one thing that I know and convinced in the last 2 decades, that this tiny organism holds a promise to be an answer to some of humanity's greatest needs. So this is what Pluri is about. We are creating therapeutics, food products, and more, but everything is from cells, the building blocks of life.
I love that. The building blocks of life. I love it. Absolutely like it. And we'll get onto some of those products a little bit later on. Let's focus on yourself. Yaky. I mean, you've got obviously a very extensive background, both in high tech and healthcare sectors. How do you sort of leverage these dual experiences and expertise with your role as now CEO to sort of drive innovation, to drive growth in this industry?
I believe we are living in a very interesting time. And we should be all thankful for that we are born and live in this period of humanity. Very interestingly, now we are seeing a fusion between different areas, between high tech and biotech and food tech and life science. It's like everything fused together and merged to one big thing. And me personally, I'm quite a curious guy, and I'd like to know a lot about a lot. So that's a perfect thing for me, standing in this position and to be able to get information from different pieces of this world. In order to create what we are doing here in Pluri. And more specifically, today, biotech is in a phase that biotech is expanding. When 90% of the people will hear biotech, they're going to think pharmaceutical, they're going to think pharma, they're going to think therapeutics, drugs. Well, it's just the beginning. Today, I know that biotech involves every organism, living organism, that we would like to utilize as human beings. And suddenly, I see biotech in a much broader prospect, and that gives me quite unique position in that space that I'm able to see it in a very wide lens, and to be able to implement the same method that we learn from one industry to the other. So it's quite fascinating time for all of us and for me.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating industry, I have to say. Can you tell us a little bit about the mission and vision, and also Did you always see yourself eventually becoming a CEO of a public company? Was that something you sort of had focus on?
In short, the answer is yes. From when I've been a young kid, I knew that I need to need something, and I knew that it has to be in biotechnology. And by the way, I have a financial background. I'm a CPA by training. So just waiting for the right opportunity to be able to dive into this amazing industry. And I knew that I need to be in a leading position. And I always saying when people ask me about building a career or whatnot, it doesn't matter. I remember myself as a junior in Ernst & Young, accounting firm, and I behave like the CEO. I mean, this is what I had in mind. It's my responsibility. This is what needs to be done, and it's me to do it. So it's more a mindset which got me for when I've been very young. And biotech in general, it's something that I knew that I need to be part of it. It was extremely crystal clear to me when I took the first mission, which was the main reason was to be able to find solution to our age population. So that was my main driver to get into this industry. But today I see, of course, the scope of aging, longevity, and the increase of population in a much broader scope than I used to see in the past.
Yeah, interesting. I think there's a lesson for a lot of people that will be listening and watching this. No matter what your role is, act like a CEO. I think that's great. Let's talk then about the sort of the CellBased coffee initiative. Can you sort of explain what that's about, and then how you sort of foresee that having an impact on the market and consumers?
Absolutely. So in Pluri, we are in the last almost 20 years, we have developed one of the most novel platforms to expand sales. And the one thing that we are extremely good at is to know how to develop unique cell products and to manufacture them on scale. This is our key expertise. We are a very technological company, and I always laugh that my guy here in the lab, they think like sales. So they know how sales think, and they sometimes behave like sales. And we are working across different industries that the one thing in common that all of them need mass scale production. Starting with pharma, this is where we started, moving to the world of cultivated meat. And in the coffee, it was actually quite funny. We 2 years ago, we opened a subsidiary. We spun out a company for cultivated meat with one of the largest food producers in the world. And then I got a call from one of the largest coffee companies in the world. And they said, "Hey, Yaky, we are following your portfolio. We're seeing your patents, and we saw your recent partnerships that you did. Can you do cultivated coffee?" I said, "What?" He said, "Can you do cultivated coffee?" And I said, "Why? I mean, I understand why not to slaughter animals, but why do we need cultivated coffee? It's a beautiful green plant. What's wrong with it?" And he said, "Yeah, you're right, but in like 20 years, we're going to lose 50% of the global production." Did you hear that? 50% of the global production. And I'm a big coffee lover. And I said, "Okay, it cannot be." It just cannot be. And this is the time that we said, okay, we're looking into this industry. We understood that around coffee and cocoa, it's a real big issue. And today you can look at any of the big guys' website, from Jacobs to Nestle to Starbucks. They're going to be on the sustainability section talking about how serious is the situation. And we took on ourselves the mission to use the 20 years of knowledge that we have, the 140 patents that we have, and the most amazing team in the world in order to save our day. We need our cup of coffee in the morning, and our technology will be able to be a significant part, in my opinion, to bridge the gap of production that is going to hit all of us in the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, the thought of not having coffee in the morning for me, couldn't even think about it. Do you feel like Pluri and your role there and everything that's going on, do you feel like you're sort of ahead of the curve with a lot of these initiatives? Does it feel like that?
I will say it with humble.
Yeah.
Being humble in that case. But in Pluri, since we are working with sales for 20 years, and since we have a high appreciation to this product, it's not a normal regular product. We understand that the sales are very capable to do many things. And we need to be smart enough in order to work with these organisms. But today, when we understand the logic, sometimes I feel that we cracked a certain secret that these cells holds. And today, big part of the team is very intuitive, and they know where we can actually implement it in more and more and more applications. Very interestingly, we started to get quite a lot of inbound calls when people saying, hey, we have this problem. I think the one thing that people understand today, that everything on this planet is built from cells. We are built from cells, animals, trees, whales, the tiniest organism. So many people that working with products that are built from cells, they are calling us, presenting the problem. And I always like the first session with the team that we are like brainstorming, okay, that's a problem. You guys know about sales. Let's see how we can work about it and to build something together. It's something that keep you exciting each and every time that you do it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited just imagining myself in one of these rooms and some of the ideas that initially come. Fantastic. Let's talk about some recent sort of successes that you think the company have had and collaborations as well. I mean, you obviously had partnerships with, the country's largest food producers, and there's others as well, isn't there?
It's been a very interesting and intensive 2 years for that. 2 years ago, we came with the concept that said Pluri is a cell-based technology platform. We can work across different industries. We have the ability to do it, and we're going to work in each industry that has the need for mass scale production. But the second part of our strategy said we're going to partner. We know that we are extremely good in one thing, developing unique cell product and manufacture them on scale. But we want to work with the best teams in the world and with the best partners in the world that they understand the market, the need, the product, everything about the market that is essential. And it's not about the technology, and it's not only about the market. It needs to work together. So a major part in our strategy is that we're going to partner, and we're going to partner with the leading companies in the world in order to bring this product to market. It's a big thing that we are doing, and it's not a task for one company or one person. And I truly believe in collaborations. And in the last 2 years, we were able to show again and again how it works. It did start, as you said, with a first spin-out and collaboration with the largest food producer in Israel, which is a subsidiary of the second largest food producer in China. So a company that think scale massive billions of, hundreds of tons of product. And we spun out a very successful company, the first one, Ever After Foods, that using our technology in order to create cultivated meat platform for this industry. We just announced again a month ago that Ever After Food entered into additional agreement, but this time they work with, I cannot say names based on the confidentiality, but one of the largest companies in the US and one of the largest companies in Europe that they joined to the team in order to bring this mission into reality. And it's quite amazing. We are doing the same thing also in pharma, where we collaborated with the NIH and the Department of Defense in order to develop for their needs a unique product for acute radiation syndrome, like what happens when people are exposed to very high level of radiation. And what I like about our concept, that it always going to follow the same pattern. The partner present the need, our teams help together, we are building the solution, and eventually with the funding of the partner, we are bringing it to market. We announced also that several deals around the AgTech with very significant companies. I wish I could tell all the names, but I cannot tell names. Around the AgTech industries, the coffee production, and also recently last week we announced a collaboration that can have a major impact on the AgTech industry. So in the last 2 years, we were able to do 7 or 8 different collaboration, all of them with top tier companies, and it's always going to work. This going to be on the same exact pattern that I mentioned.
Yeah, amazing. I'm encouraging everyone that's watching this on YouTube. Do let us know in the comments what excites you the most. I mean, it all sounds really good to me, but I want to know what it's sticking out for you all at home. Let's talk about sort of eco-friendly stuff that you're doing. How do you sort of contribute to reducing deforestation, supporting the agriculture industries? Is this this is important to you, right?
I'll say as follows, Sam, and I think it's important that I'm gonna say this point. Everyone that's gonna listen to your amazing podcast should know that it's not only same problem or Yaky's problem. Well, that's our problem. That's your problem. The one that listen there, because it's about. I'm thinking of my daughters. I'm thinking of my grandsons. I'm thinking of this lovely planet that I love to be. I mean, to see the sea, the greens, the forest. I love to jog. It's about that. So sustainability and the deforestation is not just a word that, okay, someone need to take care about it. It's about us. And I'm extremely, I'm not worried. I'm not a worried guy. I'm a very practical guy. So when I see a problem, I'm trying to find a solution. But we believe that it's not only about a nice to have or developing a product that it's going to be a cool thing to do. Well, coffee industry pollutes a lot. Coffee industry is in a risk. We see that also in AgTech. One of the collaborations that we did for reducing fertilizers or the chemicals that we are pouring into our land. If we're not going to do it, we are polluting our land, we are polluting our water, we are polluting our air. And a company like Pluri, our mission is not just to create great products and to have a great P&L. We can really modify that. We can reduce 99% the use of water in growing production, 99%. Same numbers for land. We need these lands, we need this tree, we need this forest, we need it for ourselves and for our families. So this is why I'm so up to it. I understand the impact on all of us and the importance of it. And it's up to us to act and to do it. Anyone should do it in whatever he is capable or wants to do. But everybody should be very involved in that. That's our mission and the mission of this generation, in my opinion.
Yeah, and a great mission to have, seriously. How excited are you about the future, sort of the next 5, 10, 15 years and on for Pluri, the company, the industry? Is it something that you sort of jump out of bed in the morning because you're so buzzing about it?
I wake up early every morning and getting up to work because it's quite an amazing mission that we have. I'm very optimistic. The last 2 years showed me that the strategy works. And what I just imagined, hoped, and thought is actually happening in reality when I'm seeing things moving forward. So I'm very excited about what we can do as Pluri. I'm very excited, and I'm very bullish in general about human beings. I know that all of us see the global mess now, and we say, okay, what's going on? We are destroying this planet. But human beings are quite an amazing creatures. And when I hear mission statement like, increasing the lifespan or the healthy living, I know. I mean, maybe it will be too bold to say, but I'm quite confident that people will be able to live much longer. And I know that we'll be able to produce our food. And we're going to do everything that it needs. It requires talent. It requires a lot of passion. It requires a lot of investment. And everyone should be involved in it in order to make our life better and everything that we do. So we have a huge mission, and I'm a great believer in human beings in general. And it's now our time to show that this trust actually worthy. So let's make things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of living longer, I just need to live until Arsenal Football Club win the Champions League and England win the World Cup. That happens, I'm done. I'm happy. Let's talk briefly about the share price. And I know it's not the be all and end all, and it's about the long term mission, and that's the most understandable thing. The last few months there's been a good return, and year to that, over a year it's up as well. But it is down overall. Is this something you're aware of every day? Is it something you're looking to change, or do you just believe if the team keep delivering, the share price is going to follow suit eventually?
I always laugh with my colleague CEO of public companies that we get the verdict of the public each and every day at 4 p.m. What do you think about it? But this is something that, of course, I look at it. And it's been a rough 2 years for biotech. There was a significant drop across all the industry. And also, specifically in our case, we came with a different mission statement or a different concept, and it's happened two and a half years ago. And it takes time for people to understand, okay, so what these guys are about. Is it a pharma company? Is it a meat company? Is it a coffee company? And I'm saying, no, we are a cell-based technology platform. We are creating product from cells using the most amazing technology in the world. And we're going to work in all this industry. At the beginning, people said, I don't get it. I think that last year we started to see more people involved and engaged. I do see the signs of excitement now with investors to say, hey, so you can work actually in almost unlimited amount of areas or companies. And this is what we do. We are creating innovations. We are creating companies. I told my team, I as a CEO, of course, need to be very aware to where we are in the stock price. But I'm very confident with this change that we did. We are creating new innovation and assets. We are generating revenues. We are taking this company fast, and we are reducing burn rate and taking it toward profitability. And that's one of the most amazing turnarounds that can be done. And more people are today understand it. And I hope that if people will be able to look at Pluri and understand where we are heading, it's going to be a pretty big company. This is where I'm trying to take it. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be rough. There's going to be a lot of bumpers, but I'm very confident that it's doable. So that's the reason that I'm doing it each and every day from the early morning.
Yeah, and there's so many other examples of companies that have had a rough ride but are now absolutely thriving, aren't they? This is something that a lot of companies do experience.
I met Jack Ma. It was before COVID, so I'm trying to calculate how many years. And I had the luxury. I'm also very involved in the Israeli high-tech and life science. I used to chair the largest organization here. I believe biotech is the biggest thing. So I had the pleasure to meet with him. And he told me, Yaky, it took me 13 years to be able to convince people that my model is for real. And only then it started to boom. So I'm not going to wait 13 years. I mean, I did 2 years from this change in strategy. I believe it's going to come much faster. But I'm extremely convinced that we are doing something right. And the series of deals that we just did right now shows me that we are in a very right path. And each and every of these activities that we are doing can be a huge company. So I'm quite optimistic and excited of what's going to come next.
Fantastic. Last sort of 2 or 3 questions, and it's not the most sexy subject in the world, but it's massively important, isn't it? Regulation. How do you sort of ensure the safety of cell-based products, and what measures are sort of in place to meet, the regulatory standards and consumer expectations?
You're saying not sexy. I think it's extremely important question. It's about the regulation. And also something that I think it's very important for all of us, and also to take into consideration many aspects, including beliefs, moral beliefs, and more. Pluri is a company that our roots are in the pharma industry. So we always committed to the highest standards in the world for products that we are developing, whether therapeutics or food, coffee, or whatnot. So that's in our DNA, and that's something that I'm never going to change, because every product should meet and live to his expectation. On food, I'm very sensitive to it, because I always say you are as good as the food that you eat, and every product that we bring to the market should be in the highest standard, healthy, and to be able to contribute to our health. I strongly believe in it. And since we know how it works in an industry which is the highest standard, we implement the same concept in each and everything that we do. And I believe it's extremely important topic, because this is something that people consume. So yeah, we care about regulation. We care about the philosophy of science and the impact on human beings, and we invest into it.
Yeah, you're only as good as the food you eat. I love that as well. That's a great saying. I'm definitely going to use that more often, and hopefully it will make me stop ordering takeaways every Friday night. Let's talk about sort of scaling the operation, and over the sort of the next few years. what sort of new markets are you most excited about, or sectors are you potentially looking to enter? I know you've mentioned this a little bit already, but what excites you the most there?
One of the most unique points in Pluri, as I mentioned, is our ability to scale. We took ourselves a mission 2 decades ago to build a platform, a technology that not only will bring a product, but will be able to manufacture on scale. Because eventually we need these products on scale. And that's what made us to invest to invest in this technology and to build our 3-dimensional packed reactors that are quite interesting platform for manufacturing, highly effective. We invested, Sam, over $300 million into this platform. And today we hold a unique asset that allow us to do it in a very, very high scale. And that's probably the differentiator point of Pluri across all the industry. And the fact that people work with us because they know that we can do eventually on the scale that they need. I believe it's extremely important, and people think that scaling up is, it's easy. When we're going to get to the market, we're going to scale up. Well, no. You need to think for it from day one. And it's a big investment and a lot of data and knowledge. So I encourage each and everyone that wants to do a product from sales, you can give me a call.
Yes.
I'll be more than happy to work together. As I said, I do work in partnerships. I believe that we're going to see a lot of innovation coming from the ag tech.
Yeah.
So we're going to invent new ways to be able, from one hand, to keep like the traditional agriculture, but also to make it much more effective by using different supplements or different elements that we can manufacture that will enhance production and reduce pollution, which is extremely important. And there are a lot of opportunities that we see, of course, coming like from the coffee, fish, and seafood become a big issue today. A lot of companies from Asia are engaging, calling us because we don't see what's going on in the oceans, but it's terrible. It's even worse than what's going on the land. And I love the sea. I mean, the sea is like half a mile from here, so I really make sure that. So I see a lot of opportunities around it. And generally, as I said, I believe that cells, this tiny organism, the building blocks of life, they hold a great promise to provide solutions to some of humanity's greatest needs, from healthcare to food to almost any element in our well-being. And it's quite amazing to think about it.
Yeah, fascinating industry, exciting future, and I'm sure many people will be looking at the journey over the next few years. Final question: look, CEO, public company, CEO Pluri. What are the long-term goals? What is your vision for the technology, the products, and how do you think it's going to shape the future of all these various industries that you've already mentioned?
As a public company, people should understand that my goal and the way that I operate, I want to make sure that Pluri will be a significant company in the world of creating product out of cells. We're going to have a lot of spin-outs around us. It can be as many as a number of opportunities that we see for products. And I see Pluri as a company that's able to implement the same technology across of these industries, and will be able to work with multiple partnerships across many sectors. Pluri is going to be a significant player in this industry. We're going to work from healthcare to food to ag tech to more and more industries to provide our product. That's going to create a lot of value opportunities to what we are doing and a lot of innovation. I really see our mission and goal to pave the way to understand that we can use this amazing organism cells just to make this world better. And you have a responsibility as a CEO of a public company, what you're stating and what you're saying. And I can ensure that Pluri is going to be an important player in this industry.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it all develops. Yaky, thank you so much for joining. It's been a very, very interesting conversation.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, sir.